So originally, there's about 13 of us in our games group who wanted to play Dungeons & Dragons. And I was like, let's see what happens. I hadn't DM'd before. I hadn't done it, but I thought, you know what? I always go for the extremes, so I'll try it. And it worked reasonably well, but it was a difficult dynamic because, again, people weren't getting enough time. I was constantly having to jump to different people a lot. And then I split it off into, more people jumped in, more people came along. Then I split it off into 3 groups of 5 or 6. And then a group of 1, because the story had one sort of, inverted commas, bad person, which was my brother as his character. And then the other groups were on the quest to try and stop him, all in the same sort of timeline, but different countries.
Wow.
So that was a social dynamic nightmare, but lots of fun. In hindsight, I'll never do it again.
And it took 2 years to go through the whole story, the whole adventure?
Yeah, I mean, some adventures never stop. So D&D is this weird one where you can have, the campaign can last a year, it can last 10 years, depending on the group of people, depending on the story. Most pre-made things from Wizards of the Coast who make D&D, I think a year maybe. If you do it every week or 2,
wow,
it might last. Like, I know Curse of Strahd, that's quite a long one, I think. So
now, does that mean the Dungeon Master has to keep building the world?
So yes, if it's their own world, yes. If it's the pre-made one, they have a general sense of how the world is.
Okay.
And they kind of just use the resources that you've been given for that. But yeah, going back to the point, the social dynamic of that is fascinating. Trying to listen to people, let them have their time.
Nice. So, I've been studying a bit about gamification and how central games are to learning, and how hopefully the education system, schools for children will adapt and recognize that being told to shut up, sit down, and listen is not productive.
No.
And that there's nothing wrong with you if you can't sit still and listen for hours to something that is not exciting for you, and how you can actually use games, simple games, complex games, board games, video games, to convey all the things you need in traditional schooling. So I'm excited about becoming aware of that. And I wonder what things you learn, because games aren't interesting unless you learn. So